What is going on, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can hear, or maybe you can't hear, but the whole car is shaking like crazy. Currently driving the Wagon to the junkyard, hopefully to swap in a new axle. I'm not sure what's wrong with this one, but I'm doing 60 kilometers and the whole car feels like it's about to fall apart. So hopefully it doesn't explode. I'm maybe, I don't know, a minute from the junkyard. I should make it, but like, this thing's not happy. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if maybe I toasted the wheel bearing, which I don't think I did. But we'll see. I mean, I can get a whole new hub if I need to, but whew, if we make it there with the other thing exploding, that'll be fantastic. All right, well, we made it to the junkyard. I thought for sure the axle was gonna explode, but it didn't. We made it here. I can't tell if it's the hub or it's like the inner portion of the axle. I'm pretty sure it's the inner portion of the axle, because when I had it up yesterday, after I tightened down the axle nut, everything spun perfectly. There's no play in it, which the wheel bearing was trashed. You used to have a lot of play in the hub. When there's none of that anymore, it's been smooth. So I'm pretty sure it's the axle, whatever that weird like binding kind of thing is doing. So I'm gonna go hunting out in the back, try and find me another axle, swap it in. Hopefully we're good then. All right, my friends, we are on the hunt for an axle. I just pulled an axle out of this car, which is a 1.6 SR, which I thought was the same as a 16 valve, but apparently my 16 valve has a 108 flange, and these are 100 millimeter flanges, so that one's too small and does not fit. Out of every car here, almost everything's 1.6 SR or 1.4 16 valve, which is still the 100 millimeter flange. I think the only car might be this Bora, which is a 2-liter automatic, but the axle looks to be the same. We have this 2-liter automatic and one more over there, but they're both automatics. The rest of the cars are well, your 1.6 SR or 1.4 16 valve. There is one TDI, but it's a 6-speed, so it's way too big. That won't work. So I hope this is I don't know, it looks the same. Like I said, I thought the 1.6 SR was the same as the 16 valve. It's not. Mine has 108, those have 100, and it's not gonna work. So this one, looking inside there, I don't know, that might be, it looks right, so we'll see. This is also the car I got my fender off of and the suspension from my car. So if it provides me the axle as well, this is just the best car. Oh, also, and my dash. This could be the best car for my car because I pulled almost everything off this car so far. I was also watching my video back from yesterday. I think the axle I put into my car was my 1.6 FSI, which looking at it now, it looks like it's a little bit longer than what I have, which explains why it's kind of binding up and kind of grinding. So the axle's not actually bad. I think it's just a smidge too long, which is the problem. So hopefully this 2-liter or that 2-liter provides me the right axle, or we're gonna have a very, very bumpy ride home. And I don't know how long that wrong axle is gonna work. Like the whole car shakes like crazy. So hopefully this axle works. All right, the Bora has been acquired. Please be the right axle. All right, let's see what we can see from here. Not much. No, those bolts look too big. And it's automatic too, that's why. I wonder if it threads in the same even though the bolts are bigger. Dang it. Well, I guess we'll try. I'll pull it out and see. I said I know this one's automatic, so I wasn't sure, but it looks the same, but these are definitely the larger bolts. These are the 10s versus the 8s that I have in my car. But maybe it'll work. Where's the shot? All right, well, here's our axle out to the 2-liter. This side looks the same as what I have, but with the larger M10 bolts, I don't think it'll even thread into what I have, so I don't think this is gonna work. But we'll at least try and give it a shot. Also thinking back, the axle I had out of the 1.6 FSI, that car has an O2J trans, which my car doesn't have an O2J in it, which is probably why it doesn't quite work. It's just a smidge longer, but I don't know. But if this one doesn't work, I don't think I have any other option, so I'm about to drive back home on the crap axle and order an actual new one, or put the old one back in with a new boot. I could do that. I just hate taking it apart and the grease and the boot, and it's kind of a mess. But that might be the only option, aside from buying a whole new axle, which I don't really want to do. So I knew it wouldn't work, but I wanted to double check. This is the bolt out of my current axle. You can see the M8 triple square, and it's smaller compared to the M10. So this won't work. This axle will not work. Well, I guess unless I try to use this bolt with this. But I think this flange is bigger. Or is it the same? I mean, the axle itself looks to be like the same length as what that one is, but I think my flange is smaller than what this one is. Maybe it's not. No, it's definitely different though. So I'm gonna go out to the yard and do one more search and maybe find a car with the right axle. Hopefully that would be lovely. All right, so I went through and checked the entire yard again. There's not one. We have like 15 Mark IVs. Not a single one has the same axle as the 16 valve. It's very specific to this car apparently. So I'm gonna have Jamie take me home real fast. I'm gonna grab the old axle and toss it back in this car, at least drive it properly. The boot's just torn, but the axle itself is still fine. So in the meantime, I'll drive on that and either get a new boot for it or order a whole new axle, one or the other. But this one out of the FSI has to come out because, like I said, it's shaking the whole car so bad. Man, oh man. 1.6 16 valve. The only axle that fits this car is for this exact car, which is annoying. Okay, where are you? Where are you? I need this. I need this. Even though the boot's torn, I need that. Gentle. Good. This is all we need. All right, so we've got our original axle back. I might just take some electrical tape and just like tape this side up, and maybe they won't notice. They probably will, but for the time being, at least it's not spitting grease around, I might just tape that part up. But old axle going back in. Also brought the new brake rotor for the front, the rear, and new brake pads. While the car's up, might as well knock everything out and just get all that stuff done. So I've gone ahead and pulled the 1.6 FSI axle out, and now we got them side by side. So this is the 1.6 16 valve axle. This is the FSI axle. The ends, they fit and both up the exact same, but looking here now, this one's a bit longer. You can see how this side is bigger than this one, and then up here, it's just a little bit longer, and that's plenty long enough to make this side be all crazy like this and make a horrible, horrible sound. So this one's gonna go back in. That should fix all of our weird noise issue. And then after that, it's just swapping out the rotors and pads, which should be no problem. Should be no problem. And then we're good to go. I also want to note real fast, the 2-liter automatic axle is actually the exact same length as the 1.6 16 valve. But this is larger than this one and also uses the M10s versus the M8. So I guess if you swapped the back section from this one to this one and you had the small one on the right one, it would also work. Yeah, FSI too big, and then the autos are the same length, looks like. Pretty much identical. It's just this is too big. I wonder if I could just pop this off and take the back half, steal this boot and put this boot onto here, and then we have no torn boot, and this one should pass inspection no problem. I think you have to pull like this, pull this bottom flap off, and I think it comes off this way possibly. That might be an option as well. All right, so I decided to do this the right way the first time. This is the pulled apart 2-liter axle. I'm gonna use this good boot to put on the rear of my boot because it's the same size. The one from the 1.6 16 valve, or the SR, I'm sorry. This portion is actually smaller than what I have. So this boot from the 2-liter would go onto my 1.6 16 valve, and I'll probably use this one as well because this one looks much newer than what I got. But that way, it's all good boots, no issues there. We can throw it back in the car and just be done with it. Bit of a mess as well. Also, I have some new packing grease, so I'll pack this one, pack that one, and we'll be good to go. So here we have my 1.6 16 valve axle completely pulled apart. The hardest part about pulling this apart was this stupid thing right here, because the inside of this rubber bushing was like all of this stuff is all, it was rusted and corroded together. So I had to hammer the flathead in between and like break it all free. This took the longest part. This popped off no problem. The boots are no problem. It's just this was such a pain to get off there. But that's out of the way. Now we can go ahead and swap this boot onto here. I'll take the good one over there, put it in the front, and she's done. This thing sucked. What a stupid thing to get back off. Shoot, would you look at that? We basically have ourselves a brand new axle. We got a fresh boot and fresh grease in the front, same in the rear, threw some black paint on it. Brand new. So learn from my mistake. The only axle that fits on a 1.6 16 valve is a 1.6 16 valve axle. No other 1.6 fits it, not the FSI, not the SR, the 1.4 16 valves don't fit, the 2 liters, nothing else fits this car except for its own 1.6 special 16 valve axle, unless there's one I'm missing. But I went through every car here, and out of that one, out of the one in the trash can, nothing works. So just rebuild the one you have or order a new one for your car, but learn from my mistakes. You have to have this one. Bam. Fresh axle in the car. No more crazy like weird binding up. That should be good to go. Now we'll take off these, which are the Brembo rotors, but they're kind of worn out at this point. And we'll toss in these ones. So this is the old pad off the driver's side. It's really, I mean, it still has a lot of life in it. So does the rotor. It's not that bad, but I've had these laid around for a long time. They're brand new, and so are the pads. So might as well increase the value when I sell it. Fresh rotor, fresh pads, and a fresh axle. So this side's good to go. 3 more to do. Wheels back on, final check. We have no sound from the hub, and when I spin it, there's no sound. Look down here, no sound. Back to how it should be. Buddy, we're moving right along. Fronts are done both sides, onto the rears now. Going smooth so far. I have my brake tool for the rear, so we can spin and compress this caliper, and then I got these things right here. Just some new little slide pieces that sit right beside there. I got a wire brush so I can go through and clean off some of this brake dust, and then toss in our new pads, new rotor. Going smooth. It's going real good. After all that with the axle, this is going very smooth. Side number 3 is officially done. Everything went nice and smooth. We have one more side to go, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. But things are going so well, like, you know, rebuilt the axle, 3 out of the 4 sides done, no problem. We got one side left. This side right here. I have faith in you. Give me no trouble. Look at that. Pads out, rotor off, caliper compressed. Moving right along. I'll tell you what, buying this toolkit was one of the best things ever. If you own a Volkswagen, you have to have the rear caliper tool. It's an absolute must. And it's only like 20 bucks, and this thing, one of the best purchases ever. Yo, she's done. Honestly, I am surprised. The only thing that took a little bit of time was just figuring out the axle situation and rebuilding it, but other than that, that still went completely smooth. All the brakes came off, everything compressed, everything, nothing was seized up, nothing at all. I am surprised. So all we have left to do now, drop the car down, drive home. Hopefully now it should be the nice smooth ride that I wanted. Stock suspension, big balloon tires. We should have a very smooth, not death rattle kind of ride home, I hope. But yeah, I'm surprised. This might have been one of the smoothest days working on a car I have ever had. There's always something that goes wrong somewhere, and today was just smooth, which was nice. This is very nice. All right, my friends, I want you to listen very, very closely. You hear that? Neither do I. She's good to go. She's back, and this is how the car should have rode the first time. No weird noises. It's just smooth and comfy and good to go. Also, my brakes weren't bad before, but you didn't realize how, like, I mean, when you put brand new rotors and pads on, I hit the brakes, like, I was like, real fast, but she's good. No more crazy axle, no more crazy death shake. She's good to go. Yo, this thing rides so unbelievably comfy. And don't get me wrong, I love the KWs, I love the Porsche wheels, but when you have stiffer suspension, you have a low profile tire, the ride's just rougher. Like, if you're lying to yourself if you think it's not, the ride's just rougher. But going back to complete stock, big old tires, stock suspension, dude, it doesn't get any comfier than this. It's such a soft ride. Potholes don't matter, bumps, curbs, nothing matters. You just run everything over, and it's so nice. Like, it's really, really nice. Like I said, I love the low life, I love the wheels, all that kind of stuff, it's fun. But just like the stock life, dude, it's so comfy. It doesn't look near as cool, but it's so comfy. So at this point, I think the Wagon's completely ready to go for inspection. I don't think there's anything in the car that would make it fail unless I'm missing something, but new brakes front and rear, the e-brake works, there's no leaks in the front, the brake lines look good. I think the car should pass first try, no problem. And then after that, I'll go through door cards off, steering wheel, trim pieces, seats, all that kind of stuff. The plan was originally to sell this car before I inspect it again, but I have about a month left of inspection, and to have a whole year on the car, like fresh inspection, will make the car sell much easier. And originally I said I had planned for the VR6 Wagon to be ready way before this, but it's taking such a long time. So inspect this one again, have a fresh year on it, and then it's ready to be sold once all my stuff's out of here. And then yeah, it's gone. It's gonna be sad, but It rides so comfy now, dude. This thing rides so good. AC works, heat works. I mean, this is a really good car. It's got some miles on it, but still, the 1.6 is an absolute trooper, and it just goes and goes and goes. I'll miss this thing. Definitely been a pain sometimes, but you know what? Again, never left me stranded. Always made my destination. Even with the crazy death shake, we still made it to where we wanted to go. Axle didn't explode, so she's definitely a trooper. So I think the plan for tomorrow is going to be to get me another set of door cards so I can pull these ones out of here. Even though the VR6 already has leather ones, I want to hang on to these because they're kind of hard to find. So I'll keep my door cards. I'm going to get another set of seats for this car. I already have, actually I only need a driver's seat. I have the passenger in the rear that was in my car before, the gray middle with the black on the outside, and then I have just the driver's seat to get because I gave those ones to Casey's car when she sold it. So I need one driver's seat, 4 door cards. I need some trim pieces because all this is coming out. New shift knob. I'll grab another steering wheel, and I think that's just about it. Actually, no, I have a steering wheel downstairs that can go back in this car. And then she's pretty much good. Gutted, back to stock, and everything's out. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you're enjoying the daily uploads. I've been on a bit of a grind this week. I don't know how long it'll continue, but so far it's been fun. Do not forget, be thankful for every single day. See you guys next time. Peace.